Hey everybody, and welcome to the first edition of the Mellowcast, the official podcast for the most relaxed team on all of Twitch, the Mellow Fellows. And today, for our 1-year anniversary of being a team, I have a very special guest on with us. One of the very first members on the team, Mr. Dammit Man himself, DarkLordGonzo.
Hi, hello, hi. What's up? What's going on, Alex?
I won that pretty good, didn't I?
Oh, that was actually pretty good.
That was
I'm
really good,
surprised.
wasn't it?
I'm like flabbergasted. That was really good.
That was really good. Yeah, I just came up with the name and everything right on the spot for those listening.
It was almost as if you scripted that.
I've listened to a lot of podcasts in my life, which is why I want to do a podcast featuring beautiful people like yourself. And I figure, what better way than have the long-haired dude and the bald man kick off this beautiful podcast of ours.
Here we go. Bald jokes again. I'm down. Sure.
See, I wasn't even gonna go off into jokes, because I was gonna tell our lovely people that this isn't just gonna be a podcast where we talk about the life of being a streamer and all the difficulties and all the trials and tribulation. No, we're gonna talk about other stuff. We're gonna talk about eggs. We're gonna talk about our favorite Nicktoons. We are going to talk about Danny DeVito. I was struggling to find a thing to grasp out there, like that third thing, but I found Danny DeVito, and I just pulled him down with me, and that was the beautiful part of everything here.
Danny DeVito goes with almost everything, all right? Almost everything, except for gaming, all right? Except for gaming.
And being
Just
tall.
saying.
Definitely not being tall.
But he's always tall.
He's also bald, but he also has, like, a lot of, like, long hair in the back, so he's kind of, like, bald and long-haired at the same time, which is, like, a perfect comparison for us. Like, we fused together, we'd be Danny DeVito. Just way less
scary,
rich.
Actually. That's actually kind of scary. Now that you mention it, it's like, do I want to be Danny DeVito or half of Danny DeVito?
It's better than being Rob Schneider.
I mean, you're right. You know what? Fair enough. Down. I'm down for it. Do we have to do like the whole Go Tanks thing? Fusion.
No, we don't gotta do any of that whatsoever.
Well, that's good. I hope.
But what we gotta do, for sure, is get to know our lovely Dammit Man himself, Mr. Gonzo. So Gonzo,
Oh boy.
how about you tell all the people who you are, what you're all about, all the lovely listeners. Give yourself like a brief introduction.
Sure thing. All right. So my full name, I guess, would be Julio DarkLordGonzo Gonzalez. Everybody calls me Gonzo because my last name makes it shorter. I've been a Twitch streamer for about the end of 2015, which is kind of where I got out the military, and started streaming then. Not as hardcore as I am doing it now, but kind of dabbling in there. I'm 27 now, making sure that life is trying to make sure my life is stable before I continue pursuing streaming a little hardcore than what I'm doing right now. I like baseball. I like long walks on the beach. I like cooking eggs on my head. Apparently, I'm bald or balding.
Bald.
Mainly bald. We'll just say bald. Just makes it easy. I'm a RPG speedrunner. I love to speedrun RPG games mainly. But I do speedrun other stuff like Linus Spacehead. I have world record in that because Alex totally saw me do that one game. Remember that?
Nope,
stream
I'm
that
waiting for that. You'd stop lying.
No, you were there. You saw me do that. How
No.
dare you? How dare you? Okay, anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much my spiel, I guess. Oh, and I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars.
I mean, I think we kind of got the that vibe.
Okay, good. Because if you didn't know that, now you do. So
Actually, because I want to segue into Star Wars for one quick second. I know nothing about Star Wars, so I cannot carry a Star Wars conversation. But I was curious. Fair. All right, so there is this racing game based on Star Wars on PS2 called Star Wars Racer Revenge, which I guess was the sequel to Episode 1. Yes. And limited run games just emailed me saying they put out a PS4 version physical for it. And with you saying, "Oh God," makes me think it's probably really bad.
It's really you should totally play it, and I would love to watch you play it. Hashtag sellout.
But that was like the sound of like it's really not good. Please don't waste your money. So I need to like get the right vibe here.
No. Okay, it's one of those games where I'm trying to think of another game in comparison, right? I remember Indy was playing it was like a battle arena Star Wars thing, and I was like, that is
Yeah,
gross. Yeah, you've seen it, right?
yeah, I watched
It's
them.
really gross, but it's one of those games like, might as well just try it out. And he did, and I watched him do it, and I cringed the whole time. It's not cringy, but it's cringy, you know, because it has the Star Wars kind of aspect to it. But at the same time, it's not that bad. Not that bad.
But is it just like a second-rate episode 1 pod racer?
Yes, that's
Oh,
exactly what it is.
ugh,
That's
I don't know.
exactly what.
I don't know, but not for $30. I don't know. Even if it's
It's
only
definitely not
5,000
worth
copies.
$30.
But I mean, it's only 5,000 copies. A Star Wars game down the road might be worth, you know, like $60 down the road, and I'll totally not regret that purchase.
You know what? Add it to the collection just cause. You know, somebody will buy it. I guarantee.
Guaranteed at some point.
5,000
Especially,
copies.
yeah, limited run like that.
Oh yeah, definitely $30 worth.
Maybe I'll consider it.
And then you have to play it on stream though.
I was gonna record a video for it because you know I've been
No.
doing all the video stuff.
Oh yeah, how's that been going?
Actually, it's really relaxing. Read like viewership wise, it's awful. Like most of my videos get like 0 to like 3 views. But for me, that's not why I do it.
Mhm.
Because I stick to a very particular format when I stream. And
Okay.
I don't, it's not like I feel like creatively limited when I stream, not at all. But I do feel kind of limited with what game choices I can make, whether it's from motion sickness or if I feel like it's good stream content, stuff I can do for hours on end. So I
Okay.
feel like YouTube kind of fills the gaps for like console FPSs, which I can't play for long because I get like field of view motion sickness. And racing games, like they kind of run their course like for a streaming block for me, like within an hour and a half to 2 hours. Whereas a video, I can just record it for 20 minutes, feel like it's a complete product, feel like everyone got the point. So like I feel like I can just do that, and it's good side content that just doesn't work for like my stream personally.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's good for you because you know it's your spiel. You know, it's something that wouldn't work for a lot of people. Like for me, for example, if I try to do something like that, I don't know how it would work for me, honestly. I like to play my games alone, but lately I've been streaming a lot of variety.
Yeah,
I've
you've been going ham.
Yeah, I have a buttload of games to go through that on my backlog that I have to just make sure I play before I play the new stuff. You know, like this Friday coming out, Modern Warfare comes out, and once that comes out, that's pretty much going to be my life. That, and then once Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out on the 5th of November on PC, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, but I mean, like, those games are going to become your life because it's going to take up over, like, 400 gigs of your hard drive.
Which is my life. So there you go.
Exactly. So actually, I wanted to segue into a question for you. I've asked you this before in your stream, but, like, I would love for you to elaborate, you know, podcast for me here. So,
sure
as you
thing.
said before, you know, like, you speedrun, but, like, you do, like, a lot of JRPGs. Like, you've done Final Fantasies, you've done Lost Odyssey, Legend of Dragoon, stuff like that. Now, what draws you to JRPGs from a speedrun perspective, considering how long and just, like, how much luck can go into a run like that? Like, what makes you drawn to that?
Well, so I remember one time you came in while I was doing my 24-hour speed run of it was Nemesis, Final Fantasy X Nemesis speed run. That was a good time. Back in the day, I fell in love with RPGs mainly because I wanted to get my money's worth. You know, when I buy a game, I don't want to play for like 5-6 hours and say, hey, I beat it. You know, especially as a kid, I didn't really have much money growing up, so I had to, you know, make do with what I had. So RPGs were my life for a while. Now in the speedrunning world, they always tell you to run something or play something that you absolutely love, right? Because if you think about it, you're spending hundreds and upon thousands of hours on a particular game, whether it be practicing, whether it be actually running it, racing it, whatever the case may be. You have to make it enjoyable for you, right? Because if you played a game like, let's say, Dark Souls 3, for example, right? A lot of people don't like that game because it's very quote unquote rage inducing, and people get frustrated over it, and then something happens and boom, game, like, yeah, it's a shorter speed run compared to, let's say, Final Fantasy X, which is a 10-hour speed run. But you're completing much less of those runs as opposed to completing one big run, but I truly enjoy Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X was my baby back in the day. I spent hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hours casually, from PS2 all the way to PC, HD remastered versions. I bought it for every console since PS2. We'll say that, and I beat them. But that's how much I love it. So for me to be able to speed run that, it makes it easier, I guess, if that makes sense. Because I'm not worried about, oh my god, I hate this game so much, but I want to speed run it because it's mainstream or it's whatever. But it's just easier on the mind when you actually love the game and you know a lot about the game to kind of go push through those 10 hours, we'll say.
Yeah, and here's another question about that, right? So, because JRPG speedrunners, I assume there's way less of them, compared to like your typical like platformer speedrunners, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of like more major games like Final Fantasy VII, like I assume that one has a lot of runners.
Right.
Now, with those runs being so long, I imagine that every single run you're probably gonna be gaining time or losing time in certain sections. And like it's never gonna be like, is it like ever like a really consistent thing? Because is there like ever a moment where you're like, this run's completely screwed 4 hours in, or is there like always that chance to like keep like making a comeback by just like the nature of how long that game is and stuff like that?
It's funny you say that, right? So, I like to talk about when you talk about that, for example, gaining time, losing time. I like to bring in Final Fantasy IX, right? Final Fantasy IX is one of the hardest, or second hardest, we'll say, in terms of the Final Fantasy speedruns, right? Because you can be 5 minutes ahead and then be 3 minutes behind the next split. That's how much RNG plays a part in these RPG games, especially Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy IX specifically, because it's hard to manipulate a lot of those enemies. It's hard to kind of prepare. Like, you can do so much preparing for a fight that anything can still happen and you can't reverse it, and you have to kind of be quick on your feet essentially. So some games, like Final Fantasy X, that one, like, if you're going to get time or if you're going to lose time, right? Let's say you could be 20 seconds behind a split, and then hopefully you can get another 5 seconds on the next split. But there are certain games that are much more consistent than others, in terms of time. And Final Fantasy 7 and 9 are the two hardest to run. They vary a lot in time, and there's a lot of RNG, or random number generator, we'll say, or essentially luck, we'll say. And yeah, it's there are a lot of other games that are much more consistent than others, I'll say that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the vibe I've always got with like JRPGs and stuff like that. But we also got to talk about like your other speedrunning venture, the one that I will never let you forget about. Your former world record time for Devil May Cry 2, also known as the game that like literally nobody likes, but you got world record in. I just wanted to bring this up because I hate that game, and I wanted to ask you how you managed it.
So I actually held world record for all categories except for Lucia category. I hated running Lucia because, one, it was too short for me, and I needed something a little bit longer, a little more intense. But yeah, the DMC2. So I was looking up games that were roughly around an hour at the time, because I wanted to submit something for GDQ, and I didn't realize that I had less time to run a game and learn something, run it, perfect it, and then submit it. And DMC2 happened to be one of those games I just picked up really quickly, and it was still one of those unfinished routes, we'll say, that nobody really tweaked on except for me. And then once I went in there, I got the very first sub 1 hour run. I was able to get the very first sub 54 run at the time, or 55, I don't remember. But yeah, ever since then, I was running that game, and then with the intention of submitting it to GDQ. And when I submitted it to GDQ, it got denied for whatever reason. I think it's because nobody likes DMC2.
Yeah, because it's DMC2.
But DMC2 is one of those games that I wanted to show off because DMC5 was coming out. And in terms of the story, DMC2 was like the last, we'll say.
Yeah.
Like the last before the DMC5 came out. So that was what I was trying to hype up, was DMC5, but try to throw in DMC2 in there, and it didn't work. But I still ran all the other categories. I got world records in them, held them for quite a while, and then I stopped running the game. And since then I've lost them. But that's part of speedrunning. You know, you get world records and you lose them. You know, but DMC2 is a great game.
No, no, not at
okay.
all.
All right, okay. It's a great speed run game. So if you ever wanted to get into a speed run, that's something that's very simple. Casually speed run. DMC2 is definitely a great speed run game, right? But casually, just stay away from it.
I can't believe Capcom was like, we're gonna take all the Devil May Cries and we're gonna sell them for $20 a piece on Switch, even DMC2. The absolute gonads on those mad lads to do that.
And I bet you nobody bought it. Well, somebody would have.
I guarantee you people just bought 1 and 3 and skipped 2. I guarantee you.
Yeah, well, 2, they really screwed up the targeting mechanic.
Oh yeah.
They gave us the dash or the roll, which I mean it's pretty much like 95% of the run is you rolling. But other than that, that game is poorly optimized, and just the AI is really bad. It makes for a frustrating speedrun when you're trying to go for world records, but
no, the game to me is like, it's really beautiful. Like I think for like what it is, it's kind of beautiful. Like it, like aesthetically, I love it. Like sound design, like I love it.
Oh yeah.
But then you play it and it's like just so vacant. There's nothing there. It's like a high school girlfriend. Like it's just gone.
Was there one day and then now it's just gone.
Yeah. Game's just a wasteland.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just I'm glad I ran it, and I'm glad I'm done with it. I can't go back to it. I can't touch it no more. It's people keep asking me to come back to it and get back my world records. I'm like, yeah, eventually, down the line. Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
So, seeing as we mentioned games, lines, stuff like that, I just wanted to just segue over to another thing you said you liked, which is baseball. Now,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't actually watched baseball or done anything with baseball since like 04. Red Sox finally won the World Series. I'm like, I'm good. My chapter's complete. I can. the movie starring Drew Barrymore and like what's his name came out. Fever Pitch that came out. I'm like the entire drama of my life surrounding that sport. It's done. I still love the sport. I still love playing like stuff like MLB The Show or the big stuff like that. But like I've kind of dropped out of it. But like I would love to like hear your current take on modern baseball and like what draws you to like that game and stuff like that. Like who you're a fan of and stuff like that.
So I'm a big Mets fan. I know.
So
like,
am I.
You're nice.
Yeah, I like the Mets. Sox and
Nice.
Sox and Mets.
Yeah, I was a big Sox and Mets fan for a while too. So, when you said Red Sox, I was kind of happy. I was like, yeah. So growing up, I was never really into baseball. Well, it's funny, right? So when I was in elementary school, that's what it's called. One of my I guess teachers' attendants wanted to get me into baseball because I guess I was she told me that I was such a good person that she wanted to do something for me, if that made sense, which I found kind of weird, growing up and thinking about it. But at the same time, I kind of understand why, just logistics, right? And so I started playing baseball. Didn't really get into it till like the next year, and then I really got heavy into it, and I lived baseball my whole life. But now I'm a diehard Mets fan. I'm super into it, super passionate about it. Um, was it? I think recently the Nationals, which are kind of like the Mets rivals, essentially, they made it. They made the wild card. They won the wild card game. They made it into the playoffs. They beat the Braves. They beat the Dodgers, and then now they're in the World Series, which is unheard of. All right, and Nationals haven't been in the World Series since like God knows how long. And then the Astros just beat the Yankees not too long ago. So now it's going to be Astros and Nationals, and I'm kind of excited about it, but I'm not at the same time because I don't want the Nationals to win, but I do, if that makes sense. So right now it's just like if the Mets didn't make it, I'm not really watching the playoffs as much. I just kind of look at highlights and look at the who's winning and who's losing kind of thing.
Well, there's so many games like in a season of baseball too. It's really tough to,
Oh yeah.
catch everything. So I just wanted to ask you, like, why are you a fan of the Mets? Because I have a very, like, odd reason why I love the Mets, but I would love to know why you are.
So originally I was a huge Yankee fan growing up. And I remember my mom, she had met my stepdad. They were dating at the time, and he was a hardcore Mets fan, and I was still a Yankees fan. And he took me to my very first Mets game, and it was such an experience, right? To be around Mets fans, because Mets fans are definitely much different, much more passionate, and much more like family oriented than the Yankees were. Yankees are super salty. Yankee fans, excuse me, they're super salty. They're very not arrogant, but arrogant. They like to live in the past. 27 world championships and rings, whatever. At least we made it to the World Series in the last 10 years, and we still haven't. But we don't talk about that. And but I guess the Mets do more for the community. They do a lot more family oriented things. They do a lot more charity work. They're more out there, and plus their colors are nice. So
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Your reasoning is much more noble than mine. So,
go on.
so seeing as I'm a massive pro wrestling fan and have been my entire life,
Mm-hmm.
there is a wrestler I really enjoy, goes by the name Kurt Hawkins, or if you're a fan of him on the indie scene, Brian Myers. He went by both.
Okay.
And he always had gear kind of like, not always, but like more often than not, always had gear kind of like designed around the Mets. And now,
Okay.
with Kurt being booked as a wrestling jobber or someone usually booked to lose his matches, enhancement talent basically for wrestling, he kind of wore the Mets because like Mets A, his favorite team, and B, like they're like the underdogs. Like they don't really win, but like you always root for them. They always have the heart. You always think they can kind of pull through. And to me, I
Nice.
always get into a big like underdog story, which may be like why I love wrestling. And actually, it's probably a big reason why I can't get into sports too much. And like once Patriots won, the Super Bowl when they brought in Tom Brady, and like Red Sox finally won, I kind of like dropped out of both those sports.
Mm-hmm.
Because like for me, I like individual players, not teams, unless there's a really really cool story to the team and like why they gotta win. I
Makes
always try and
sense.
like find like a cool story to stuff. Like, but if I'm watching sports, right? Like when I used to watch football, I'd be like, I like Steve McNabb, I like Brett Favre, I like Drew Bledsoe, and like stuff
Right.
like that. I'm like, they're all different teams, they're all competing with each other. It's tough to get like invested in a lot of these matches if I care about
Right.
all these individual players across different teams and not the teams themselves. So I always
Mm.
gotta like find the underdog or like some reason to really, really care about the team beyond like they're my hometown or they have a cool
Nice.
logo or something. So I grew to the Mets because of Kurt Hawkins and him promoting them as like this big underdog. And I know they're still kind of like the underdog, so I can still like watch some of their highlights and be like, yeah, I love you, Mets. I have no idea who any of you are, but like I support you.
That's fair. That's not too bad because there's a lot of people out there who just don't like the Mets because we're just good. But there are a lot of people out there who still root for us regardless because we're still the underdogs after so many years, and they're still waiting for a Mets World Series ring. But one day we'll get it for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. It might not be even the century or millennia, but you know what? One day the Mets will finally Finally get it. Mets 3150. Let's go.
Let's hope not.
I believe.
Let's hope. Let's hope for a couple more before. So you like wrestling, right? So
Yep.
what's been going on in wrestling lately? I've been out of wrestling since I was 15, 14, 15.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and make this as short as possible because this is like the craziest time to be a wrestling fan in like 20 years.
Lovely,
Okay,
lovely.
so you obviously have like, your mega corporation, the WWE, doing Raw and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
But now they have their offshoot promotions, which are NXT and NXT UK, which are kind of like their developmental, but like they're fully stacked rosters. Like they might as well not be developmental at this point. They
Interesting.
got like 4 shows going, like major ones. But then you have a brand new company, AEW, around, which is backed by Tony Khan, which only got started because of a bet on Twitter with fellow pro wrestlers, the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes. So here's how this promotion started and how it became the biggest competition to WWE in the United States.
Oh man.
Professional wrestling critic Dave Meltzer said no independent promotion could ever sell out 10,000-seat arenas like the WWE can, and it's not possible. To which Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks on Twitter replied, "Challenge accepted." Not even 2 months later, or 3 months later, did they announce they were making a show to happen at the Chicago Allstate Arena. I believe it was Allstate Arena, which holds 11,000 people. They put
Okay.
tickets on sale, right, for this like 11,000 seat show. Sold out in under 9 minutes. Gone.
Really?
9 minutes. It was a show
That's all it
called
took.
All In. And obviously that generates a lot of hype. And
Mhm.
Jaguars owner, billionaire Tony Khan is a huge fan of wrestling and sees this and is like, I want a piece of this. And that's how AEW got born, through a bet on Twitter. And they got guys from WWE like Dean Ambrose, now known as John Moxley, his old indie name. They got people from New Japan Pro Wrestling, who are generally considered to be the second best or best promotion in the world. So they got the Young Bucks, they got Kenny Omega, they got like all these other guys. They kind of got like everyone from the independents. And they got a show on TNT for prime time on Wednesday nights, which is insane. And their first ever
Wow.
episode, they drew 1.4 million people watching in the ratings,
Wow.
which
Holy.
is like 65%, 70% of how many people watch Raw, which is like a 30-year established show.
Yeah, it's been around a while. Long time.
Yeah. So it's a really crazy time in the wrestling industry because for the first time in forever, like there's legitimate competition. And now you have guys like Impact Wrestling, formerly known as TNA, who have like shows, like they air all their shows on Twitch and online. So like now you have people watching Impact again, and then the Mexican scene's blowing up. And the UK scene just finished its boom period. It's kind of like on a downswing now. But that just happened. And Japan is like mental. So like the wrestling scene right now is actually insane with the amount of product out there and the amount of people that care and are looking for an alternative to WWE, which is absolutely in the dump right now. Like it
Really? Why?
is.
Why is that?
Um, the writing of those shows it's so bad. So
Oh,
I'm
they
going.
kind of just go half-ass on it now,
It's more
kind
than
of thing.
half-ass. Like we're talking like they just got put on Fox. Okay, like they got a $500 billion deal to Fox. 500
What?
not five. I mean 500 million, not billion. I wish it was billion, but $500 million year for
On
SmackDown
Fox now.
on Fox. Yeah, on network
What?
TV. They are already back down to the ratings they had on USA, and
Ew.
in 3 weeks, 3 weeks it took them because the writing is that bad. So I'm gonna present to you the Fiend, played by Bray Wyatt. I'm not sure if you've been watching enough to like know who Bray Wyatt is or.
No, no,
No,
no.
okay. So Bray Wyatt, think of him like almost like a modern Undertaker, or for like the '90s, maybe like
Got it.
Waylon Mercy, like
Oh,
swamp
Undertaker.
dude, crazy beard, has like a cult of people around him. Like
Mhm.
he's a bit crazy. Well, he got injured. He fell off the face of the earth for like 8 months. Cue in this, okay? Imagine you're
Mhm.
watching Raw, and then all of a sudden you hear a children's theme song and thing called Firefly Funhouse, and you see the evil old swamp man, hair tied back, playing a character like Mr. Rogers in a show called The Firefly Funhouse. But something is very sinister and off, with like children laugh tracks and like, but there's like all this sinister stuff to it. Like it's really cool. And then
Mhm.
you find his split personality called the Fiend, which is like he goes hurt or heal, and he's just going to kill you basically. Like he has his
Oh.
evil mask on, he carries a lantern of his decapitated head to the ring. Like it is gruesome. It is creepy. And
That
he demolishes WWE superstar Finn Balor in his first match. And Finn Balor is like a former champion. 3 minutes, essentially does like a neck break and then does a mandible claw, which he also used on Mick Foley to get the move. And just dominates, okay? So, it's a really cool character, right? Like, it's...
Yeah.
Flash forward not even 2 months later. Not even 2 months. And we have a Hell in a Cell match featuring The Fiend versus WWE Champion Seth Rollins. And you know what happens in a Hell in a Cell match? Like, you know, it's a very brutal match.
Of course. I love this.
The Fiend gets hit by like a steel chair and all this other stuff nonstop, and they do a disqualification in a Hell in a Cell match with The Fiend getting brutalized, to the show going off with enormous boos.
But
like,
it's Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, it's Hell in the Cell, and everyone's booing, and their top babyface Seth Rollins is now getting booed out of the building because of this, because they could not commit to a single character. And this is just one time they do it, and they do this like 4 or 5 times a year. They are afraid to pull the trigger on anybody new, and everyone's bored. They finally pulled the trigger on Kofi Kingston, give him the title after 11 years of going for it, and then they have him lose in 3 seconds to Brock Lesnar. 3 seconds.
Wait, Brock Lesnar's still wrestling?
Yeah. Oh, he's been champ for years.
Really?
Every time he loses the belt, like, he gets it back, like, 2 months later, and he holds on to it for, like, a year again. Like, he ended the Undertaker streak and everything, like...
Yeah, I remember he was doing MMA. I remember his very first MMA championship that he won. Like 4 matches, I think. 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then he came back to wrestling. I was like, what?
Oh, that's going to tie in perfectly, because you want to know why Kofi Kingston lost?
Why?
Because they had to debut Cain Velasquez to fight Brock Lesnar in pro wrestling.
Wow.
Yep. Cain Velasquez is now main eventing Crown Jewel with Brock Lesnar in Saudi Arabia. So they ended a 6-month, 11-year story for Cain Velasquez, who has a total of like 2 pro wrestling matches under his belt because of money.
Jeez.
Yeah, so wrestling, people are sick to WWE, and like they're looking for alternatives, so it's a really crazy cool time because the main product's awful. It's terrible.
Competition builds, builds off of each other.
Oh, yeah. And if AEW was able to get Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho, like, my God, like, they're already off to an amazing start.
Oh, I miss Chris Jericho.
Oh, he's the champ at AEW, and, like, you'd think, like, 50-year-old guy's not gonna do well? My God. And Ken Shamrock was wrestling in Impact the other day.
Yeah.
Dude vertical leaped from the inside of the ring to the outside, over the top rope, and did a somersault at, like, the age of 55. And almost broke his neck. And it was amazing. He shredded.
Man, that's scary, first of all. 1.
Yep.
And 2, that's incredible.
Yeah, those are my thoughts. Yeah, dude, I love pro wrestling so much.
Well, that's good. I didn't know it was that big. I just thought it was sticking to the, it was Raw, SmackDown, WCW, ECW, and then that was all I knew.
Yeah.
And then the main events, obviously, every month. But
oh
man, that's big.
Yeah, I watch like 16 or 17 promotions now. It's tough to keep up with. There's a lot of wrestling out there. And like it's all really different. Yeah, it's good. And
well, that's interesting.
Yeah. And wrestling's like, a nice little segue to kind of go back to the streaming thing is kind of how I got like so big into streaming, believe it or not. Because I always wanted to be a professional wrestler, and like one day, like I still hope maybe like one day I could step in a wrestling ring. I don't think it's like a full-time career thing I could do anymore, because like, get approaching 30 and stuff, like it's my window of opportunity is closing. But like I've always loved but I've always loved like the improv nature and just like kind of putting together a show on the spot with like a small idea of like what's going to be happening. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of exactly what streaming is too. Like you have a small idea of what's happening, but like you're improvising your entire thing all the way through, much like this podcast now.
I mean, yeah.
So
I mean, we're doing a great job, I think.
So like I kind of took the improv entertainer thing and I kind of moved it over to video games, and that's how I kind of heavily got into Twitch, because I'm like, I can do like an 8-hour promo every single night and try and entertain people and kind of be there like on a schedule, and that's kind of like very wrestling in a way to me.
I mean, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's kind of like how I got into it. And then I wanted to form my own promotion, the Mellow Fellows. Nice
Here we
segue,
are.
right? Because this is technically the Mellowcast, and we haven't even even talked about the team whatsoever. Which
Yeah, we've just been talking about us and
yeah.
our things, but
Yeah, no, but it's kind
that's
of like what I
fine.
wanted to do with the cast, anyways. Like, let everyone kind of know each other.
Yeah,
But
get to know who we are, and then we promote the team.
yeah. So for
Hashtag
those
sell out.
unaware, Mellow Fellows is a team that started when this is uploaded about exactly 1 year ago, from the time you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're about 75 members now, from all different communities, and we're just kind of focused on being like laid back and relaxed. And so far, I think the team's like actually wonderful. You were actually one of the first people to believe in the team and like want to be like, I want to be a part of this, which was really, really cool. Because you're kind of like one of the founding members, and I think I think the team's like ended up really, really good because so many, not to like feed my own ego, but like a
Hmm.
lot of Twitch teams, like I know it's like aren't like really like a lot of members aren't like super, super close. Like they'll network around and like talk to each other and stuff, but like I feel like this team like kind of has like a very like nice family vibe to it.
I agree. No,
Yeah, like
I completely agree. I remember when we first started, there were only what 6 people in the Discord at the time, and I was very active in the Discord. I was active more in the Mellows Discord than my own Discord because it was just fun to finally start networking with other streamers that were very like-minded and very kind of just open to you know just criticism, but yet they just want to grow essentially. But um and then looking at it a year later, like I had asked you the other, I think it was a couple months ago. I was like, when is our anniversary for the team? Did it pass already? You're like, nope, it's this year's. Like, really? It went by that fast?
yeah,
Because one person came in, another person came in. Next thing you know, 15 people come in and 50 people come in. And I'm like, what happened?
yeah.
So it got to the point where I was checking my Discord every day, and I was able to read the messages and respond, accordingly. Now I can barely keep up. It's
Yeah,
just so much activity in there.
it's a lot of us, and like it's actually crazy like how close a lot of us have got now. Like you're like playing games like with Mellows, like a lot of like I see a lot of other people playing games with each other, hanging out with each other. Like it makes me super happy. And now I'm seeing like people from like all our chats like hanging out in other chats and stuff. So it's like people are also like checking each other out. So like even like outside the team, which is really cool. And like the
Oh
amount of
yeah,
interest in the team has been amazing because I get like roughly 40 to 50 applications like every few weeks.
wow,
I can't accept all
wow.
of them obviously because the team would just blow up too much, and like I gotta kind of keep it at a certain
Keep
level. I can't
keep it in
accept
order.
everybody. Yeah, so like it's why like I curate things, and like we add like maybe one member like every 2 weeks at this point, maybe two members like a month,
Right.
which I think is like a fine pace. But like even then, like I'm gonna have to slow down eventually. Um,
Oh,
but
it's I mean, it's good pace because man, this team is amazing. So we have like the most humblest, mellowest people on all of Twitch. I believe, because
and tugboat.
every and tugboat, of course. Oh, hashtag tugboat. um, no, I mean, honestly, to see from where it was when it started to where it's at now is, it's almost a blessing, right? Because we all came into this not knowing what was going to happen, right? We didn't know if it was going to grow. We didn't know. Well, I believed all the way. I knew it was going to get big, but it was a matter of when, you know, and it happened so fast, and it was almost like I couldn't keep up in a way. Almost every other week, I'm like, "Hey, welcome to the team. Hey, welcome to the team." I'm like doing my whole spiel of, "Hey, I'm the mascot. Damn it, Gonzo, this, and blame me, blah 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 blah." And people seem to love that, because um, it's like it's initially a bonding experience right off the bat. Like, "Hey, I'm blame me for this. It's okay. Let's have fun together. Like, we're accepting you." And then I feel like a lot of teams don't do that.
Yeah,
When you join a team, you're like, oh, there's people that can come and promote and help my stream. But that's what they see. They don't see us, being a family, and that's what we are. We're essentially just a family. We hang out with each other. Like, I've played so many games with so many medals recently and throughout the year that I normally just don't go out and branch out and hang out with people off stream or even during stream to play games with, and I do that all the time now. We play DVD, we play Gang Beast. I've been getting a lot of people into Gang Beast. Oh, that's been fun actually.
Oh yeah, I've been watching the VODs of that.
Oh man, it's hilarious. I love it. I'm trying to do like a Mellow Fellows series on YouTube. I just need more content.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, I've also grown as a person and as a streamer because of it. So, but I really do appreciate you building this team and starting it from scratch, and knowing what your values were before. Like we share the same like kind of, I guess, goal is we just want to help people, and that's all I want to do. I want to see people grow. I want to help people grow, and I'll do whatever I can for that. Whatever it is, essentially.
Yeah, like no matter, like for me, like right, like I wanted to help others. Like I wanted to make a team that like I wish I had when I was like trying to go up to like full time on Twitch, and like for me, like it was never like about me like getting like promotion for myself or like networking for myself and stuff like that. Like I genuinely wanted to get like a really amazing group of people together to try and like make a really nice community on Twitch, to prove like not every streamer is like this big salty person or like this big ultra competitive person, stuff like that. Because I got so sick of going through like Twitch directories and just seeing people caring about winning, get to partner, do this, do that. Like I gotta be the biggest person around. Here's some rage. Like I wanted some chilled out stuff, and I also realized that I'm in so many different little like subsets of the Twitch community, be it like the retro side, FPS side, Dead by Daylight, like all that. I already had like people I could contact to get the team off the ground and like really start building like all these different sub communities in one team together.
Right.
So, like if you look at like the Mellows right now, like we have a ton of retro streamers. We have a few people that only do FPS. We have like some of their MMO focused. We have like a huge Dead by Daylight scene. We have you that speedruns. Like we have like Nintendo focus. Like there's like all these like little sub communities in Mellow Fellows, where it's like we're almost like 7 different teams in one team at the same time.
Yeah, well, just like I said, we're just a big family.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what you stream, when you stream, how you stream it. We're still Mellow Fellows. It's and then the funny thing is, right? It also gives other people, other streamers that stream something different, something else to watch and something to look forward to. A lot of people don't, like for me, for example, a lot of people don't know what speedrunning is. So when I throw up a stream, hey, I'm speedrunning, come check me out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. People that don't normally watch speedrunning will come by and ask questions, and they get into it and you learn, that's really what I want. I want to be able to teach, something new to somebody.
Yeah.
And help them grow. That's what I want.
And I just wanted to expose like different stuff. Like I think one that really stands out to me, like one member that we got, Taco Salad. Because so many people like apply, like these are my numbers, like these are my average concurrent stuff. It's like I don't care like what your viewership is, that means nothing to me. I care about like the content you give and stuff. And when Taco like applies, like I do like DOS adventure games, I'm like, this is such like a small like
small niche community.
Yeah, that most people aren't going to discover. Like I would love to give you the platform because like your stream's really, really good. And like you're featuring stuff that like most people aren't really doing on Twitch or even YouTube even. Like I would love to give you that platform. Like I would love to like expose more people to like all these other cool things.
I agree.
Like when Wasabi Tonic like applied, like he was like, I do 1 hour, 1 life. I'm like, 3 people play this game. You're really passionate about it. I would love for more people to see this and like get into this. Like that's like a big thing for me too, is giving people a platform to be able to stream things that usually won't blow up big on Twitch, but like I want to give them like the best possible shot with it.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job at it, honestly. Because I mean, anybody can stream Dark Souls. Anybody can stream the newest mainstream FPS game. Or
we have like a lot of like Soul streamer stuff on the team as well. Like it's not like a shot against Dark Souls or anything, but it's like we have a huge Dark Souls or Soulsborne. Yeah.
I mean, you got what, Zero Salt or Tiny.
Tiny. We got Tug's been doing it. Mikey. Faxton was just doing Code Vein, but he's not like really a Soulsborne streamer, really.
But he's doing it.
Yeah.
Veronimo. She's been playing a lot of Soulsborne games.
Gamer Heroine.
Oh yeah, GH. Man, we have now that I think we have a lot of.
We have a lot. We actually, I think, have more Soul streamers than DVD streamers right now.
Well, that's good. That's good because at first, when we first started, it was like a lot of DVD.
Well, to be fair, like I'm a DVD streamer, and like obviously,
I
like
mean,
if I'm like the one promoting the
yeah,
team, it's gonna be like a lot of DVD applying.
of
So
course, of course.
yeah, I did my best to
Uh,
branch out. I think I did a really good job personally of branching it out. I did my best.
no, you did a great job. I mean, we're still looking for like smaller niches, like speed runs and
Yeah,
Nintendo stuff. But I mean, that's going to come with time because
yeah.
there's not a lot of mellow speedrunners. I'm going to say that now. There's not a
Oh, there's
lot of
not.
mellow because for me to speed run a game and be as mellow as I am, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of work, right? A lot of people are passionate about speedrunning, and I understand why they scream and they rage, because
Yep.
they're just passionate. But it's hard to find that balance,
Yeah.
and so I'm still looking for more speedrunners that are mellow.
It's tough,
Well,
and the thing too is I think people also assume like Mellow Fellows means like we never get tilted, like we never get angry, like every now and then,
oh yeah,
naturally, like there might be a little bit of tilt, but like we're never like super ragey or like gonna be like rage quitting out of stuff. It's just
it's just part of life,
yeah,
we're not perfect,
not
we're
perfect.
we're
Like I
only
got
human.
tilted like 3 days ago for like 3 minutes. You were in stream because I was like,
Oh
why are these
yeah,
people running this one loop on me in Dead by Daylight? I can't take it. This is freaking stupid. The next game, I'm
even
like, hey, how's it going?
even I was getting tilted. I was like, man, this loop goes on
It doesn't
forever.
stop.
It doesn't stop because I had that same exact loop earlier with I think it was Billy, and you were running Pig, and I was like, oh my god, I hate this loop. It never used to be like this, and now
Yeah, it's dumb. And
it
for
is.
those that aren't familiar with Dead by Daylight, 4v1, one person's a killer, four people are survivors, and there's a thing called looping, which basically means, run for your life, don't get hit, which you can vault, drop pallets, and like get around the map. Now, there is this one particular route you can run on a map called Springwood, which
Hmm.
literally takes like 2.5 minutes to catch someone, assuming the mechanics play in your favor as a killer, which is enough to lose a game. And if
Yes,
everyone decides to go run that, you are screwed as a killer and there is no winning. And all you can do is just basically get tilted over bad game design. And it's been like that forever.
forever. And
For context.
so yeah, I understood your pain
Yeah.
there, and I mean, like I said, we're not perfect, right? We're not perfect, but we're mellow like 90%, 95% of the
I
time.
would say like 99. Like I never see anyone get really angry. Like I get
Oh yeah,
like I get moderately tilted, but I'm never like raging and yelling and stuff like
no,
that. Like
no.
you can tell if I'm getting like, a little bit frustrated, but like that's naturally what games do to you.
Just bring an insta heal to your games, and
Yeah.
you get insta tilted. I know.
Yep. And you're also in chat, which also is just so tilting.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, at least you don't take it out on like anybody else, like other than yourself. Like you're not sitting there like, oh, I'm retweeting the game or I'm shutting down stream because
No.
of it. No, it's like, oh, you brush it off and boom, all right, you're good
I'm
to
like
go.
the most like play a game however you want. If the game allows you to do it, like you're not exploiting like this big glitch, do whatever you want, never quit. Just
Exactly.
if the game's dumb, like it's on the game, it's not on the players. Like everyone's
It's
just trying
true.
to play the game and have fun, and not everyone's responsible for my fun in a video game, just like I'm not responsible for their fun.
Right.
That's just how multiplayer stuff is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If it's like a bad single player game design and I think the developers are stupid, I'll call them out. I'll be like, why did you do this? Like I did that on a game earlier today where I was like so mad at the developers. So mad at them. But they are
Oh,
responsible for my fun.
was it the end of the game where it deleted your file
Well, that
once you
was
make your
one thing. There were
decision?
two things.
Okay.
Alright, so we're talking about The Beast Inside, which is a horror game that just came out. It's really cool. You play in the 1800s and the 1970s. It's two separate storylines in the same area. It's a fairly spooky game. The first thing
Right.
Mr. Gonzo here was just talking about was that there's 4 endings in the game, and it comes down to your final decision in the game. And when you make that decision and get your ending, it deletes your save file, so you have to play through the entire game again, which is like
That's
8
a
hours
long.
long to see
Yeah.
like your next ending. So screw that. But the other thing was there was this chapter, right? Now the average chapter in this game is like 30 to 40 minutes, which I think is reasonable.
Mhm.
This chapter was 2 hours long. There were no scares, and it had a side mission if you wanted the full story, where you had to go around a map that had no markers to find these hidden crates, and you had to do puzzles to open them to get one page of lore at a time.
Jeez.
2 hours.
Yeah.
It was awful. And I was so
Yeah.
mad they did that because they brought like this really fast-paced game down to such a crawl that I felt like I had to write a Steam review to talk about it. So I did
Well,
because I was
maybe
so
they
mad.
maybe they realized what they did and was like, yeah, let's just slow this down a little bit. We need to milk this out.
If they didn't have that chapter, that game would have been so much shorter. And the game also bugged me at one point, and I couldn't finish a puzzle, so I had to brute force it.
I don't know if you hear that outside. It's loud. They're doing
It's not
cleaning.
bad. It's fine.
They're literally right outside my window.
Yeah, I can hear a little hum, but like it's only like when you talk. It's not bad. That's
Yeah,
fine.
well, okay. It's not too bad. All right, cool.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
we're good.
we can edit. We can edit that out. It's fine. um, no. But yeah, going back to the team, right? So, I've seen a lot of people start the way they started, and then obviously you have like this huge change,
Yep.
right? Like take a Zero Salt Samurai, for example. His name used to be Zero Salt Samurai, but now he's called Zero Salt Show. Because rebranding is a big thing in our team. You've seen a lot of name changes. Like for me, for example, I had a huge name change. I was called one thing, now I'm called DarkLordGonzo, and like rebranding and figuring out what works for you is hard, like by yourself.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It really is. Like for me, I need a lot of feedback. I need to know if I'm doing well. What's my audio like? What's my stream quality like? Can my content be better? What can I do to entertain you better? Whatever the case may be, right? I have to have that constant feedback to be able to grow as a person and as a streamer, and as a content creator. Like Zero, for example, I remember his setup was completely different than what it is now. Like he had a lamp, a desk lamp. I remember he told me that the desk lamp pointed at the wall behind him,
Mm-hmm.
so that the wall can reflect the light to his face. I was like, dude, go get you like a $20 lamp from light or whatever from Walmart, and that'll make a world of a difference.
Yep.
And he did that. His stream was perfect. It was like, oh my god, what happened?
Dude, when I first started watching him, sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah,
I thought his mic was the cleanest thing ever, and he was using a blue snowball. That boy
yeah.
figured out how to make a blue snowball sound like a friggin' Shure SM7B.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say that. Like his mic quality is so good, but he put a lot of time into that.
Yeah.
And you can tell, a lot of people will just throw in a blue Yeti or blue snowball and just like, all right, I'm good.
That's what I did.
And
That's what I still do.
that's what you still do, exactly.
Yep.
And to see the kind of passion that he has for streaming and content creation and everything, it wasn't like that until he joined the team.
He's got really
like,
into it, and like just
oh yeah,
I think you also need like other people to kind of like reassure him, like, hey, if you want to try something different besides Souls games and stuff, like you can do it. Like it's good. It's fine. Like you'll feel like the effects of it. Like you'll feel like a viewership drop for a little bit, but like if you're really passionate about like what you're doing, like it'll work out. And like I think it's working out for him.
Oh yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Like he's done a lot to his stream now to where he's consistently getting like 30, 35, 40 viewers at a time, and it's like when you first started streaming, you had like 10, which is great. It's great to have 10 viewers, 10 active chatters in your chat just talking, right? But now he has that plus another 20. And it's so good to see that, right? And that mainly came from us as a team coming together and going through that channel feedback channel that we have in the Discord.
Most busy channel, yeah.
Yeah. We are always in there giving each other feedback like almost 24/7. Hey, you can probably do this better. Maybe you can change this up. Oh, what do you think about this? Well, I think this, and that. That right there, right? That quote unquote brutal honesty.
Yep.
You don't get that from anywhere else.
Exactly, because I feel like a lot of people are like, no, it sounds good, it's good, it's good. Like people are afraid. Like, no, with us, we're like, no, if that sucks, like we're gonna tell you it sucks.
Because we care
and
we want you to grow. We're not trying to steal your viewers. We're not trying to compete with you. No. And that's what this team is really all about. Family, growing with each other, like Twiggy, Tug, those two together, when I saw them and to see them where they at now, oh my God, they've done so many changes, but from our feedback, like, hey, what can we do better? Whatever the case may be, whatever the questions were.
Yep.
and they took that feedback, applied it, to the streams or whatever, and look at them now.
Yeah, and
I
also to
mean,
be clear, it's not just because of our feedback too. Like they're really, really good, but like I would say like some feedback probably has helped them out a ton.
oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Like I don't want to like
great.
say like we're gonna take full credit for it because of course
No,
not.
no.
Of course
I'm not. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
This team in general is like we care about each other so much that we want to help you grow. What can we do to help you grow? And just let us know, and then we'll see what we can do for you.
Yep.
But man, it's been a year. It's been a year, and we have some really good quality, amazing streamers, amazing people, that I call friends and family. Like, it's nice.
Even on like right now, like I look like we have like Wes on. Like Wes is doing so good with his stream lately. Like he is doing really good. Obviously, we already talked about Tiny Zero Salt Show, playing some Dark Souls and stuff. Like he's doing so good. Indy just came back, and like Indy's back in his flow, and like Indy's the man. The one that called Sin, like the one of our newest.
Oh yeah,
members.
the newest one. Yeah.
Not the newest, second newest.
Second,
because we just got Keith yesterday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I haven't been to our stream yet. I will actually stop by after this.
Keith is really good, and Sin's really good. Sin's playing Vampire right now, which I actually want to play myself. So I've been kind of like hesitant to kind of go in because it's like so story focused.
Okay,
but I've been trying to like say hi as much as I can. She's really good, and obviously we have Vic on, and like Vic's, Vic's such a good dude.
I love Vic, man. He's so mellow, like
so wholesome.
Nothing phases that dude at all.
Nope.
He's so wholesome. And he plays like the most.
Yeah, he's playing League right now.
Exactly.
He's like on Teamfight Tactics League, Dead by Daylight. He's like, I don't care.
I don't care. I'm just having fun.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a ride.
Throws on some music. Has that.
I have
chill
Extinction
voice.
to worry about. Such a good dude.
Oh man, it's so good. So good.
I love this team so much.
Me too, man. You did a great job, Alex. Honestly, you've changed a lot of people's. I believe, just building this team from what it was, and then. But the thing is, right? You're not just accepting everybody that comes right off the bat, right? You're doing like this deep analysis of each streamer, of each application, trying to find something, right?
Yep.
And I know what that something is. It's hard to explain, right? But I know what that something is, and because it's exactly what I would be looking for. It's it's really hard to explain, but you're able to find that with a lot of these streamers, and it's hard to do that because most teams will just accept almost everybody, and it'll just be like 300 people on a team, but nobody knows each other, and everybody's just different.
Yep.
And
like for those that aren't aware, like I take the application process for this team very, very seriously. Like it's probably the thing I take most seriously. Like I will spend hours and hours watching VODs to see what each streamer is personality wise and like what they do, how they act, what they like, just to make sure like they really will gel with the team. So I take that really, really seriously. And obviously I'll also get like second opinions, third opinions. Like I have a few people that will like take applications for me and like review them with me to kind of give me like the backup okay. And like I also don't really get biased. Like I don't just like willingly accept people from my communities anymore. Like I send people I personally know to other people for 100% of the review process. So like so no one can be biased about like who gets added and whatnot. Like it's a serious thing with me.
Oh, I remember that one time. I remember you were about to accept this one person, and then I kind of did a deep cleaning.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to tell them the story, but
no, because I feel like if we describe it, people like within the Mellow Fellows know exactly who we're talking about. Yeah. And I don't want to step on any toes.
Of course. So I mean, I'm gonna say what it is, but Alex was about to accept this one application a long time ago, and he wanted me to review it, because at the time it was kind of like his right hand man for a while. As the team was growing, obviously, and I went through this one video, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he's good, and then I left the video on for whatever reason. I guess it was just instinct. And I was talking with Alex. I was like, "Oh yeah, this guy is pretty good. I think we should add him, right?" And then 10 seconds after I said that, I said, wait, Alex, you need to see this. I clipped it, and it was something that was just not tolerable. With and not doesn't mesh with our rules essentially, and our flow. Um,
Yeah.
and it was kind of funny that it happened 10 seconds after I had said, "Hey, he's good," and then immediately just no denied.
Uh-huh.
That was
So quick.
so quick.
So
It
quick.
happened. Like, you know, that's how serious we take our application process. You know,
Yeah.
we want quality, but we also want, you know, like personality as well. You know, like there's a certain flow, there's a certain type of personality that we look
Well,
for.
the thing with me for it is I feel like if we're all going to like promote the scene, be like, click on the link, check us out. I want to make
Mhm.
sure that when we say that, nobody's going to click on like our team page and see something really questionable or off. Because all it
Right.
takes is one bad first impression of that team page to have someone never want to check out the team again.
Oh yeah.
So
And
I've,
we
yeah,
have a lot of mellow groupies as well. A lot of groupies.
Fate.
Oh yeah, Fate. We got Blade.
Oh yeah, Blade.
Blade is best boyo. Who else? Bros has been going to a lot of our um
Ooh,
streams.
that 360 no scope from my community has been showing up in a lot of streams lately.
Oh yeah, he just dropped like 10 subs and like 30 bits on Salt stream just now.
Yeah.
Or not too long ago. I was watching that. Oh yeah. So yeah, we have a lot of groupies that come in and hang out, like, oh, especially Bishop
Yep.
08083. He came to my stream a couple times. But I see him in Tugs, I see him in Salts, I see him in you know, a lot of other
Yeah.
streamer mellows.
When I see that, like, I know like something right is happening because like people are kind of like sticking to the team page and like checking out everyone like within our communities and stuff, which is great, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And just you know, the love that we have, it's always like shared amongst everyone. Like one day, you know, I'll raid you, one day I'll raid Salt, or one day I'll raid somebody else. Like it doesn't always go to the same person.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what time I stream, but it doesn't always go to the same person. I like to keep it kind of spread.
Oh, same. Like when I end my stream, like I always have like Wes or sometimes Tug is on, or I'll have like
Mhm.
JB or Ryan. Sometimes I've
Yeah.
caught Mikey on. Like I have like a Vic, Wasabi. Like I catch a lot of different people on. Like sometimes like I'll host off team because obviously like I still have like friends like outside of this community.
Of
You know,
course. Of
so
course.
like I'll host like some of them sometimes. Like I'm not like 100% like only hosting the team. Like I would say like 80%, 90%. But
Hmm.
like there's so many like good options, and like I just plug everybody. Like when I have my stream, like we have this person on, this person on, this person on. This is what they're doing. Like
Right.
I make time to like make sure like I mention everybody on the team when I go offline. But then again, it's like always like, you know, like 9 or 10 people. I think like when you end stream, there's probably like 20 people on,
Yeah.
where it's not
It's
even reasonable to even try what I do. So
yeah,
it's
it's like,
like,
oh, spin a wheel, roulette. All right, here you go.
yeah, I just feel like there's a
So
lot of people on.
maybe yay, or sometimes it's like usually, you know, and then you're like, okay, well, I just hosted them, you know, even
Yep.
if you hosted them the day before. It's just
Yep.
it's just the quality is good.
Yep.
You know, we want to promote the quality. We want to promote the streamer. Want to say, hey, this is what Mellows is about. This is what Mellow Fellows is about. It's great quality, great streamers, great just wholesome, you know, content. So
And it's just all different sizes of stream too. From like, you know, like 5 average viewers to like 100. Some people have over 100 average.
yeah,
Like Sharpie gets over
Sharp
100 easy. I
Sharpie's
get over
been on
100.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, Polly gets over 100 now. There's a few of us that get over 100,
Oh
like
yeah.
very often, which is
It,
insane. You don't see that much
it,
on different team pages.
yeah, on team pages in general, just you know, you get like one.
Yeah, there's
You
some
know,
teams that
so
are freaking huge, you know, but like,
oh yeah, oh yeah.
yeah,
But
it's just
but
a lot of this team's grown so much though. A lot of the users have grown a lot.
yeah, over the last year, it's just been incredible.
Yeah.
So what are some big plans that you have that you probably can and can't say for the team coming up this next year? Like, what are some big goals that
Big
you're trying to
goals. All
achieve?
right, so I definitely want to fill out like a lot of the different sub communities in the team, like the speed running team, stuff like that. Like I
Mhm.
want to get that all set. I want to rework the website. Obviously, I'm starting the podcast. I'm doing the clip show. I'm doing side clip shows, for not just like general clips, but like, you know, certain themed sort of clips.
Nice.
Um, I want to do. You said you want to do like game with Mellow videos. So do I.
Mm-hmm.
So I was planning on maybe like doing Uno nights recorded with Mellows, stuff like that at some point.
That'd be nice.
The problem with me doing like a lot of that too is obviously like my time's very thin because I stream 7 nights a week and stuff like that. So it's tough finding the time. But like I basically will work my ass off for this team and try and get like as much stuff out there for the team. And I've like over like the last couple of months I've got like game keys from devs and stuff. I've built a little bit of, like a relationship with the rank 1 global guys, where we have the Mellow Fellow team page on that website, which is really nice.
I actually need to finish creating my profile. I
That
actually
site
made
is
one.
so good. I'm not commissioned or like sponsored by them, but like I have a close relationship with those guys. It's a really good website.
Oh yeah, they have everything on there. It's just a streamer profile thing,
Yeah, for those that don't know, rank1.global. It is basically a streamer resume. Like you say your bio, you say what you're currently playing, your favorite games. You can like post your best highlights, your best accomplishments, and it's just makes this huge profile based on you as a streamer, like your recommendations, everything. And now they have an extension where you can also put it on your Twitch player, and you can click on it like on Twitch, and then you can get that profile off to the side. So a new user can come in, click that button, and just get like your entire story basically. It's really nice.
And you'd be surprised at like how many developers actually look for those rank 1 profiles to do like a lot of their, I guess ads per se.
They look at like developers, like you'll never know like where developers come from either.
Well, yeah. You just never know. Like, but it's there. It's like think of it as like LinkedIn essentially, but for streamers.
Yeah, like it's still a new website, like it's still growing, but like I think that site has a lot of potential.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do my profile after this. I forget.
Yeah. But yeah, like I have plans for the team. It's just I kind of love like the flow that we're going through right now. Like I don't think we're gonna get 70 more members over the next year. I'm probably only gonna get like 20 or 30, like max, like over the next year, because like we are kind of slowing down on adding members because like we're kind of at the point now where we're a big team, like and I kind of like everyone knowing each other and stuff like that. So like we're gonna be a little bit slower with applications and stuff, but. Like, I think our current lineup's really good. We do have, like, some potential, like, promising, like, future applicants or, like, current applicants in that I gotta look over and little projects I want to do. So,
okay.
I just kind of think we're gonna keep, being, like, what we are. And I think, like, this, like, upcoming year is gonna be kind of like the year, like, where a lot of us, like, achieve partnership or just kind of, like, hit that next level as a streamer.
I believe we're gonna get a couple partners this.
I already can think of like 5 or 6 people on our team that are probably going to be a partner level in the next couple of months.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can just
off the top of my head. Yeah, right away, easily.
I mean, obviously not me, not yet, but it is.
But you're doing pretty good lately, I've noticed.
Like not too bad, not too bad. I mean, for doing my off stuff, like a lot of my variety stuff. It's actually really good. I'm surprised that I'm getting what I'm getting now.
Yeah.
But I realized yesterday when I went back to speedrunning, I got back most of my numbers. I was like, wait, and this is not even a speedrun that I don't normally do. It's just it's a brand new speedrun. I was like, wait, I'm still getting my numbers back, which is kind of interesting,
That's how Twitch is. It's crazy.
It's all algorithms and I'm just kidding now.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna go full YouTube here, even though we're uploading this to YouTube.
It is what it is, though. So any more goals other than that? We're just gonna push for partner.
Honestly, I just want to see everyone grow. Like, there's really like no huge goals. I just have like a lot of little fun projects to kind of like get everyone's name out there because I kind of feel like. As a team, like we're kind of like achieving the goal like I initially had, and I just kind of like it's one of those things where like you kind of like always like want to improve and like better yourself, but I kind of feel like the team's kind of hit such a nice level, like such a good level, and is achieving like everything I could have like ever really hoped for at this point. Right. That like at this point, like it's just gonna be like all additional stuff that like I really want to say. Usually it's just gonna be like video content and just like really helping other people kind of get to that next level.
So let me ask you this: when am I going to start getting paid for all this?
So that was a good first podcast, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first ever Mellowcast. I was your lovely, lovely host, Alex. Alex is playing twitch.tv/AlexIsPlaying. designedbyhumans.com/something Alex is playing, buy my merch, youtube.com/Alex is playing, Alex is updating on Twitter. It was a good time.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
Gonzo?
nice.
That was like where you
great
could
time.
easily plug yourself.
Twitch.tv/DarkLordGonzo. If you definitely want to check me out, I'm on every day now. I've actually started my streak. I'm on 41-day streaming streak right now. So definitely come check me out when you get a chance. I stream every day, 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, and then weekends vary. So, but I still stream. You'll see me, promise. And then definitely follow my YouTube, DarkLordGonzo at YouTube, and DarkLordGonzo at Twitter. Make sure you follow that as well.
I'd even like plug like when I stream, but like now I feel like I'd be just one-upping you and I'd feel bad.
Oh no, you're good. You gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, yeah. So twitch.tv/AlexIsPlaying. I've streamed every single day for 1,030 days in a row now. It's not quite
Nice.
at Gonzo level, but I'm getting there.
Hey.
And I start every night around like 12:30, 12:45 a.m. and I go to about 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day.
Yeah, I started my streak because of Alex, by the way. So
There's a lot of people's streaks. We got Wes, we got Techno, we got me, we got you going.
Oh yeah, we're doing our thing.
Yeah,
we're doing our thing. Well, I appreciate you having me here. It's been actually for the very first podcast that we have.
Yeah.
I love this team. Like I put a lot of effort into this team and a lot of love and care and compassion with this team. So because I want to see everybody grow, and you did it for me essentially, because I'm living through you, because you're doing exactly what I wanted to do a while back that I couldn't because I'm not as big of a streamer. But you know, I'm glad to be part of the ride.
I mean, it's all our team at this point. So I'm just like, you know, the founder and like the owner of it, like in name, but like I think it's kind of like everyone's team, as cheesy as it sounds. Really,
Yeah, we're not even a team. We're a family. Come on.
Yeah.
You love cooking
Besides
eggs on my
Tug.
head. I'm gonna leave that with you.
Yeah. Cook eggs on your head, and I just wanted to throw shade at Tug one more time.
He's probably gonna listen to this like, I hate penguins. That's exactly what he's probably gonna say.
He's gonna do that, and I'm just gonna bonk him, and I'm gonna call it a day because Tug has to live with it, because that's gonna be the end of the very first episode. Thank you all for listening, and Tug, if you're listening to this, stop being a hater.
I love you, Tuck.
It kind of.